Welcome, everyone. My name is Jim Goodrich of Continuous Process Improvement Systems. I'd like to thank George Chow of Mannix Consulting for his collaboration on this presentation. Today, we'll break down the configuration management domain of CMMC Level 2. We'll follow a story involving system users, managers, and administrators, making these rules easy to understand and to apply in your daily activities when dealing with controlled and classified information. And we'll tell a story of configuration management security. Let me introduce Alex, a CUI system user, Jamie, our operations manager, and Pat, our systems admin. We'll travel with them as they work to keep their systems and the sensitive information inside secure and compliant. So what is configuration management, or CM? It keeps systems consistent, secure, and updated. Why is this so important? So that we always know what's on our network and how it's set up or configured. This applies to hardware, software, firmware, and documents. CM maintains a desired state, typically of IT systems and components, ensuring they perform as expected throughout their life cycle. Configuration management ensures that our systems are always locked down, not left open to attack, and that we know exactly what's running. That makes for no surprises. It's the foundation for good security and CUI protection. Why does configuration management matter for CUI users? CUI must be protected from unauthorized access and changes. Knowing what should be there helps us spot what should not be there. And following configuration management practices keeps you and your organization safe and compliant. For Alex and all CUI users, understanding what's supposed to be on your computer or your network helps quickly identify and report anything unusual. If you see a strange app or program, say something to the boss. Your actions are vital for security. Requirement 3.4.1 is all about baseline configurations and inventories. This helps us know what should be here, and by exception, what should not be here. For this requirement, we list everything: hardware, software, firmware, and documents, and we set a baseline, which is the approved starting point. We update that when things change. Let's revisit our story. Pat, the systems admin, creates a list of every device, every program, and every document important to CUI. Jamie, our operations manager, approves it, and Alex, our system user, helps by reporting anything new or unexpected. This gives everyone a clear picture of what's in play and what makes it easier to spot problems. CM Requirement 3.4.2 is about setting and enforcing secure system settings, essentially locking the doors and closing the windows. Remember to configure devices and apps using secure settings, not the defaults. Include these settings in the baseline and make sure settings stay enforced. Revisiting our team, Pat uses guides like the DISA STIGs or CIS benchmarks, which are government security protocols and configuration recommendations, to securely configure systems. Jamie makes sure the team knows not to change settings unless approved. And Alex doesn't try to tweak the computer. Everyone plays their part. Requirement 3.4.3 is all about tracking and approving any system changes. No surprises are allowed. Changes must be tracked, the who's, what's, when's, and why's, and make sure you review and get approval before making any changes. All changes are logged as well. Looking at our team, if Alex asks for a new tool or software program, Jamie reviews if it's needed, and Pat checks if it's safe. Nothing gets added or changed without a record and approval. This stops shadow IT and reduces risk. 3.4.4 requires us to analyze security impact of any changes. Every change could impact CUI security. Essentially, think before you act. How will this affect security? Assessment before making the change. Make sure we assess any change. Before installing new software or updates, Pat, our system manager, assesses potential risk. Could this create weaknesses or vulnerabilities in the system? Jamie, our operations manager, and Alex, our system user, understand that even small changes can have big impacts. Better safe than sorry. Requirement 3.4.5 is about applying access restrictions for system changes. Essentially, only the right people change the right things in the right way. In terms of physical access, who can touch the hardware? Who manages, essentially owns and stewards the hardware? For logical or digital access, who can change software settings? We need to define, document, approve, and enforce these restrictions. For instance, Alex knows not to plug in unauthorized devices. Jamie ensures that only trusted staff access CUI gear. And Pat enforces the rules. No one gets admin rights unless necessary, and all access is recorded. (3.4.6) Least functionality. This is a principle that we see throughout each of our domains. Essentially, it's about all of us only getting what's needed and nothing more in terms of access. Define essential functions, apps, and services. Turn off or remove anything that's not needed. And keep systems lean and mean for CUI work. For example, Alex only has the software necessary for his work. Pat removes any games or unnecessary programs. And Jamie ensures that business needs are met, but nothing extra that could open the door to threats. CM Requirement 3.4.7 restricts non-essential programs and services. If it's not needed, it's not running. Identify essential versus non-essential programs, non-essential ports, protocols, and services, and then restrict, disable, or block what's unneeded and unnecessary. This reduces the ways that attackers can get in. So, question, as a team, do you need file transfer or the file transfer protocol on your CUI workstation? Maybe not. How about games? Heck no. Only essential apps and services should be running. For our team, Alex checks what's really needed before requesting software. Pat audits and reviews regularly. And Jamie reviews what the team needs. 3.4.8 requires us to allow only authorized software. Either whitelist, which is preferable, or blacklist, but pick your policy. Allow only known safe software, which is whitelisting, or block known bad software, which is blacklisting. policy must be documented and only authorized programs can run. For our team, Pat sets up a whitelist. If it's not approved, it won't be on the whitelist and it won't run. Jamie explains the policy to the team, and Alex asks for approval before installing anything. This stops malware and unauthorized software. And requirement 3.4.9 is about controlling, essentially restricting, user-installed software. Don't allow any unapproved apps, ever. Our policy will state that users cannot install software unless approved, and any installations are reviewed and monitored. This limits the risk from untrusted software and forces it through a review process. Looking at the team, Alex cannot install apps on the CUI system without approval. And Pat will monitor for any attempts. Jamie, meanwhile, shares policy reminders for the team. All this together reduces the risk of accidental or intentional installation of harmful software. Let's look at good user practices for configuration management. What should every CUI user do throughout their workday? Remember to only use approved hardware and software. Never change settings without approval. Report anything unusual and don't install apps on your own. Remember to stay informed and ask if unsure. Alex, our CUI system user, has keys to success, basically staying within the rules, trusting the process, and speaking up if there's ever a question or suspicion. Alex is the front line, you are the front line of CUI defense. Let's look at some good questions to ask ourselves. Do you know what your baseline configurations are? How do you request software? What is that approval and request process? Who approves any changes? And what's your role if you see something suspicious? Great security comes from curiosity and engagement. Never be afraid to ask. Every system user, like Alex, plays a vital role in protecting CUI, and that's how we all succeed together. Let's pause here for any questions. And remember, you can always email me at jim@cpisys.com or jgoodrich@manexconsulting.com. Thank you.